Hello everyone. Welcome to my English class. Today I will teach you an interesting supplementary story, The Dying Detective, written by Arthur Conan Doyle. Let us first realize about the author. Sir Arthur Ignatius Conan Doyle, 1859 to 1930, was a British writer, best known for his detective fiction featuring the character of Sherlock Holmes, which are generally considered milestones in the field of crime fiction. Doyle wrote short stories featuring the famous detective. Characters of the story. Sherlock Holmes was the detective and was acting like seriously ill. Watson was the assistant of Sherlock Holmes. Mrs. Hudson, the landlady of Sherlock Holmes, who was very sad of hearing about the Sherlock as he was not well. Mr. Culverton Smith was a man who has the knowledge of the disease. Victor Savage was a nephew of Dr. Smith who had been killed by Smith for his property. Mr. Morton was the inspector who arrested Smith. The author has given an interesting account of how the detective outsmarted the culprit to zero in on him. This story is about a dying detective, Sherlock Holmes, who acts and wanted to arrest a criminal who is in London. Watson, friend of Holmes, arrived and was horrified to see Holmes was ill. He wanted to treat Holmes, but Holmes did not allow Watson to examine him. Holmes didn't want Watson to know that he was not ill, so he sent Watson to call Mr. Culverton Smith, who was in London. He instructed him to come before the arrival of Smith and hide in the next room. Before the arrival of Smith, Holmes instructed Watson the following things. Put the half-crowns, means coins, in your watch pocket, and all the rest in your trouser pocket. He must light the gas lamp, but it must be half on. He must place some letters and paper on the table within his reach. Place the ivory box on the table within his reach. Slide the lid a bit with tongs, means pincers. Put the tongs on the table. After that, Watson called Smith and asked him to come to meet Holmes, who had knowledge of the disease tarponley fever. Mr. Culverton Smith came and saw Holmes lying on the bed. He accepted that he only murdered his nephew for the property. He thought that Holmes got the contagious disease by touching the sharp spring inside the ivory box, and thought that he would die very soon, and he could take that box in his pocket, which was the last piece of evidence. Now Holmes asked Watson to turn the gas light fully. It was a signal for Inspector Morton, who was waiting outside. Morton came inside and arrested Smith. Holmes explained Watson that he acted to confess Smith's crime and asked sorry for behaving rudely to Watson. He didn't eat food or drink for 3 days, so he was weak. Thus Watson, unknowing, helped Holmes to catch Smith. So children, two of the most prominent themes of the story are those of revenge and friendship. It shows revenge of Culverton Smith towards his nephew and friendship of Watson for Sherlock Holmes. Thank you.